where they want them, back on Ohio soil. The Kings Club won both previous Game 3s in this trilogy, and tonight, Cavs faithful will unite in wine, gold, and hope that Cleveland can rock another finals comeback. For the Dubs, perfection is on the line tonight. For the defending champs, the season. Game 3 looms in the land.
We did our job. We won our 2 home games. They won 2 games. Now we got to go home and regroup.
We still have to go out and get the job done.
We have to defend our home court.
Sound familiar? It should, because we've been here before.
Golden State, what an impressive performance.
For this second straight year, the NBA Finals ships from Oakland to Cleveland, with the Warriors taking a commanding 2-0 lead over the Cavs.
This is where the series changed. It was 2-0 last year. We lost.
The Cavs are hoping history repeats itself.
It's a tall challenge for us, but it's a great moment to be a part of.
While the Warriors hope to continue on that path towards postseason perfection.
Golden State remains perfect, 14-0.
We have to play even better to try to get a win in Game 3.
It may sound like a familiar story, but how will it end this time around? It's Game 3 of the NBA Finals between the Warriors and Cavs.
3 hours before tip, LeBron James on the floor here in Cleveland and getting himself ready for Game 3. A triple-double in Game 2 was not enough, and the Cavs return home yet again, down 0-2 in the NBA Finals. Welcome inside Quicken Loans Arena, everybody. Game time live at the Finals. Great to have you there. I'm Matt Weiner. Shaquille O'Neal, his giant championship ring, both on hand.
Hall of Fame ring, get it right.
Chris Webber, Hall of Fame ring. Chris Webber right over here, and NHL analyst Charles Barkley. Good to have you with us.
I'm glad to be in the land. Thanks for having me. You know Ernie Johnson, you know that, right?
I know him, yeah.
Okay. But listen, this is gonna be a big night for the NBA, man. We need to get some competitive basketball. I'm really looking forward to this game, and I hope I'm not disappointed.
Let's start with the guy we just saw warming up here on the floor a few minutes ago. What needs to change for LeBron James tonight for the Cavaliers to win?
I just think he needs to keep doing a lot of the same. I think that he needs to be aggressive in the second half. I think he's averaging 10 points, so I think he just needs to be more of LeBron. He really can't depend on, or he can depend on his teammates, but right now it all has to start with him, whether it's attacking, whether it's in the mid-post, whether it's in the post area, getting a double team, but it just seems like he can continue doing a lot more of what he's doing. I can't see him changing anything, but still being aggressive, doing a lot more.
Well, a couple things. Number one, I do agree with C-Webb. I think he needs to be more aggressive in the post. Instead of trying to beat Kevin Durant off the dribble, make them have to double him in the post. That's one way. Also, he's got to take the challenge on the defensive end and try to slow down Kevin Durant. That's just him. But then the other guys, J.R. Smith is MIA, Shumpert is MIA, Kyle Korver's MIA.
Darren Williams, Channing Frye, there's a long list.
But I'm saying those guys got to really shoot, because you're going to have to score 105 points to beat the Warriors. That's if you play good defense and they're not making a lot of shots. So it can't be just a big three. They got to get some points. Because if all those guys get 30, that's only 90 points. Those other guys got to show up.
You know, Cavaliers aren't normally a post-up team, Shaq, and LeBron James has only posted up twice through 2 games so far. Is Chuck right? Do they need to do more of that tonight?
Yes, he needs to do a lot what, C-Webb say. He needs to get into the post. But, C-Webb and Barkley will understand what I'm about to say. Sometimes when you're the guy, you have to demand that the others play well. Chuck mentioned that those guys are missing. LeBron has to go in the locker room and say, listen, we come too far today. They're doubling me or they're not doubling me. When I kick it out, play aggressive and, play your game. The others for the Cavs have not played well. LeBron's been out there doing it himself. Kyrie's going to have to play spectacular. LeBron's going to have to play spectacular. Kevin Love's going to have to play spectacular. And the others are going to have to step up and play inspired basketball at home tonight. If not, they're going to be down 3-0 to a team that has a lot of weapons.
We saw LeBron visibly upset with J.R. Smith in Game 2. That's an interesting point behind the scenes, what he might say to his teammates. And in terms of Kyrie Irving, he's been okay. I mean, by Kyrie Irving standards, he's been okay so far. What does he need tonight?
Well, he needs to be a better Kyrie. I was talking to Chuck before the game, and Chuck had been saying this all year. I disagreed until now. and that's John Wall is a great player and the best in the East. And I think
best
now,
point guard.
The best point guard. And I think what Shaq said, a lot of players with great egos like LeBron, you're going to have to get on your other players, and you're going to have to let the other ones know, like, wait a minute, you trying to speak up and be this guy. You can't just be this guy all-star game. You can't just be this guy during the season. And so I think that Kyrie's going to have to look at himself in the mirror and say, I need to attack. Curry can't check me. Well, you know, no one can check anyone in this league and say, I need to be on myself. I need to help LeBron. I need to help this team, as opposed to waiting and letting the game come to you.
And also, you know, Kyrie has to take that challenge on the defensive end. Yeah. Like, Curry's going to get X amount of points, but you got to make him feel like he's been in a fist fight. And right now, you know, they run up and down, kicking their legs in the air, high-fiving each other. They have not felt any resistance at all.
And Matt, you said something very interesting. You said Kyrie is okay. You know, a lot of people look at Kyrie as a great player. In moments like this, you cannot be okay. You have to be spectacular, and you have to seize the moment. He's not doing that right now, but he's home. You know, superstars play well at home. The others play well at home. So, again, they got to come out and play some great, inspired basketball tonight, or else.
And the big fella, Tristan Thompson. I mean, I know we probably going to get there, but it's other guys that you make your living in this lane, right. Not in any other lane, but this lane. And if you're not rebounding, if you're not getting extra possessions for your team, you can't score on the other end. I don't know why you making your presence valuable out there. So I think it's other guys to step up and fill their role.
His rebound percentage has been way down from the postseason so far. A lot of people felt like he was a difference maker in the series. Hasn't happened so far. For the Warriors, about half this roster knows full well that a 2-0 lead means very little given what happened last year. I know you guys want to comment on the T-shirt before I'm going to ask you this question.
What is that?
I don't know.
Listen, if you dress like that, you better bring that thunder.
30 and 20.
And first of all,
if you dressing like that.
I've watched you guys and other analysts the last couple of days talk about last year. This is a totally different Warrior team. You can't hang your hat on what happened last year. We lost the first 2 games. It doesn't matter. This is a totally different animal. They're going to have to play a lot better to beat this Warriors team. They can't worry about what happened last year because Kevin Durant was not on that team last year.
Right.
So this is a totally different animal. And the Cavs, they just got to play better, man, plain and simple.
Well, I was starting to ask about, from the Warriors' point of view, this might be a little bit of an advantage that about half the roster went through blowing a 2-0 and then a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals. Now with Kevin Durant on the roster, different animal, of course. What do they need to do tonight to take a 3-0 lead that nobody's ever overcome?
Well, listen, the Warriors going to do what they do. Like I said, you got to score a minimum of 105 points. I don't think you can hold them below 100. They just got 2-minute weapons. You know, Kevin's going to get 30. Steph's going to get 30. Clay's going to get 20-ish. You know, Draymond's going to do what he does. The Cavs got to get some. The others that Shaq always talk about, it just can't be the big 3. Those other guys been MIA. I mean, listen, Tristan Thompson, who's a hell of a player, he has done absolutely nothing. Shumpert, JR, same guys, Kyle Korver. I mean, you're going to have to score. You know, this ain't baseball where you can hold good pitch and stop good hitting. or in hockey where the goalie can have a shutout. The Warriors are going to score 100 points. Can the Cavs slow them down enough, or can the other guys step up and get them over 100?
What's the conversation for Golden State tonight pregame?
Draymond's the leader of that team. And I think he says, guys, you know, if we win this game, this is a championship game. Golden State wins this game, Chuck. I feel that Draymond, and he said in that locker room, I think he's the one that's encouraging them to go.
What Steve is probably saying, and everybody knows it who've been down 2-0, they got to weather the storm. This is a must-win. Cleveland going to come out with desperation.
Place is going to be nuts.
The place is going to be nuts. The first 5 minutes, the first quarter, because you know you want to be playing. Obviously, you don't want to be playing from behind because the Warriors have the best spurts in basketball history. Probably they can knock down 2 or 3 threes, and your lead can go from 6 to 12 quickly. So the first quarter to me is going to be really, really important because if they come out and get to a big lead, the Warriors do, this place is going to die, and this season's going to be over Friday night.
Well, what do you think? What's the conversation tonight for the Dubs?
Well, you know, they're just going to go out and do what they do. But I want to talk about the Cavs and what their mentality should be. My last finals that I appeared in, we were down 0-2. And when we got back home, Pat Riley said, you know what, they did what they were supposed to do. This is the only thing we need to think about. We need to think about one game at a time. Don't worry about if you're not playing well. Forget that. This is over. We're at home now. go through your routines, eat your food, see your girlfriend, see your wives. We have to get one game at a time. So if they're thinking about how bad they play, if they're thinking about, hey, if we get down on 3, they're not going to win. If they stay focused and just get one game at a time, then we have a series. But as Charles, C-Webb has mentioned, Golden State Warriors are going to do what they do, and yes, they have to weather the storm, and they have a lot of weapons. So Cavs are going to have to come out and punch them in the mouth and put their foot on the neck, and they're going to have to beat this team tonight because this team is too hot.
I'm sorry, Shaq. I checked out about 20 seconds in because I was distracted by the ring.
Yes, it's called bling bling, Matt. Diamonds.
That's the size of my head, this ring.
It got about as much brain power as your head, too.
Now, that was unnecessary. That was just a shot.
Matt, stick up for yourself. Don't let him talk to you.
Why'd you have to go there?
Because, I love giving you a hard time.
I know you do.
I mean, listen, I'm so glad to be back, man. I've been sitting at home bored watching these.
You're watching hockey.
Man, I got 2 eyes. I can watch hockey and basketball
from
at the same
Nashville.
They didn't play that night. They didn't play that night.
And Chuck, whatever you were drinking at the game, stay out, because you was bobbing and weaving, Chuck. You was bobbing and weaving. Boy, that Patron must have got to you, Chuck.
All right.
Hey, listen, it was actually vodka,
As always, we are well represented on the grounds here in Cleveland. Native son Vince Cellini will join us a little later on from outside the queue. Kristen Ledlow is covering the home team, the Cavaliers, and we'll begin with David Aldridge on the Dubs.
Well, Matt, you guys have talked about what Cleveland may be thinking about. I can tell you the Warriors' concerns are about that 3-1 lead last year that they blew, and that started in Game 3, which they lost by 30 here in Cleveland. So they are well aware that they need to keep doing what they've been doing the first 2 games of the series. Steve Kerr said it would be nice, for example, if we didn't turn the ball over 4 or 5 times and let LeBron have a couple of run-out dunks in the first quarter to get this 20,000 in this arena going. So they're really cognizant about ball security after the 20 turnovers in Game 2. For his part, Kevin Durant says it's human nature to realize how close they are to a championship, but he says, I need to have even more focus, even higher focus than he had in the first 2 games when he averaged 35.5 a game and shot 57% from the floor. He says he has to play better because he knows LeBron James is going to raise his game, especially at home. That's the story here from the Warriors. Now let's go over to Kristen Ledlow with the Cavaliers.
Coach Ty Lue says he'll stick with his starters concerning reports that he may consider a lineup change, saying that his game plan doesn't change based on who they're playing. I also talked to Kevin Love yesterday, who told me that the Cavs think differently about what's possible after that historic comeback last June, a series that also started 2-0 before shifting back home. LeBron James went on to say this morning that there's no sense of urgency in this Game 3 and that the Cavs had a good practice in preparation. He also said that they need to be ready to play a full 48 minutes tonight. Matt?
All right, Kristen, D.A., thank you both.
Wait, did LeBron say there's no sense of urgency? Whoa! The nature boy is in the house.
I can't
Ric
do that.
Flair greeting David Aldridge.
Wait, did LeBron really say there's no sense of urgency tonight?
It seems so.
I guess he wanted him to get
We'll get into that. We've barely scratched the surface here. Still ahead, David Aldridge's chat with Kevin Durant, who explains how he's found his joy with a look at how Kyrie Irving can ignite his offense and perhaps a Cavalier comeback as well. That would be music to the ears of Cavs fans here in the unofficial birthplace of rock and roll. They are ready to rock at the Q tonight. The Nature Boy here on set as we get set for Game 3 tonight.
Give me a good